Well, good afternoon, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and I thought I'd bring you into the grow room. And you can see with this Cymbidium now, the one that I've just called Blushing Bride, that most of the lips now are changing. And you see how they start to change, and then they go from that to that to this very deep colour, and it's just actually sat in some fertiliser and water. So yes, some of them are quite deep, and I think maybe that one here could be the last that's opened. Anyway, let me get up now. I thought, well, I'll bring you into the grow room and show you that, and of course that's the other one, the Phalaenopsis, that I've had in here a few days, and that's just dropping its first flower. But you know, as you lose some, you gain some, and this one here, this little No Idea, that's been in bloom for weeks and weeks. Just checking here, I'm going to start watering all these in a minute, and I thought that was a root, but then it's got a good root system, and some of them have got green growing tips, so I thought, well, why would it send a root out from this area? And I do believe that's another flower inflorescence that's starting. And do you remember this little No Idea that I put in this little square basket? And I've just got sphagnum moss on that, and can you see there? That's got a little flower inflorescence starting, so I've got that in its little spot now. That's the other big Phalaenopsis that recently flowered and is just extending there now. And this is the one that was one of the retirement ones. This is the deep pink one. And I noticed on this side, it isn't a flower inflorescence, it's a keiki. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, well, I've never had that happen to me before. So, and this one here, and of course that's already set in its buds now. That was the other retirement one. And, so I have to be very careful over here. And that's the bark area. And that's still not opened, those buds, which is a bit of a nuisance. But what can you do? So we're in this corner now, and there is the see if I'll take you in a little bit, is the Dendrobium pendulum, and that's just got two leaves which are yellowing now, and they'll soon be dropped. But I'm just very gently watering and feeding because I've got that new growth there. Of course, these are some of the Vandaceous types. This one here is what's that one called? Curvifolia. This one here is Vanda Joy Irene, which is Vanda Costylis Lucinary by, I can't read that one. Vanda, oh, can't read it, sorry. No, can't read it. There's the little Vanda Falcata baby angel, and of course this is the Phalaenopsis amboense, and that new growth there, not growth, inflorescence. But I've noticed it's dropping its two back leaves. And I was a bit panicked to start with, but it's got another little flower coming down in there, so maybe it's just taking some of the energy out of the leaves. And of course we carry on, and this is Vanda Miniata, that's Vanda Peaches, the two that I put in that big basket, that's Vanda Costylis Lucinary by Vanda Ron Miniata times Vietnamica. However you say that. Oh dear. So I'm going to stand on my little step. Let's have a look. That's one of the cheap Phalaenopsis I got. That's what it's named. It's called Limelight. And this is the one that it's got a crown rod. But that one's not died, you see. It's carried on, it's growing. So it'll either send out a little clone of itself, or there might be enough strength left in the centre. I'm not sure. And that's the into focus. That's the Dendrobium lutifolium. That's the Dendrobium plicatile. And there's the other one, the big Phalaenopsis. There's no name on that. I've had to put some moss around the roots. And of course, this is the big Dendrobium gracilicoli. And if we look up here, this one here, and it comes right down to here, but did you notice this is the Phalaenopsis tetraspis, and it started to die back. And I thought, oh, I've had that inflorescence about 18 months, and look, it's got 2 branches here. So I don't know what had gone wrong, but anyhow, I've mounted it, put some sphagnum moss round it, and that's the big Phalaenopsis Zorro there. That's my, as I call my stick with the species of orchids on there. Just step down one. This is the Orchid subdiflorum. There's that root extending now, so that's taken to that mount and it likes that mount. That's an OID Phalaenopsis. And I've had to put some more moss round J.O. Candy. See? They hate some of these airy canes. It must be like a Latore type. They hate to be disturbed. I don't know how I do it. I do these things, you know, and then I wish afterwards I hadn't done it. But never mind. And on a sad note, I lost Chia E. Yinlin. I came in a couple of days ago and it had just keeled over. So I was really gutted about that. That's the corner survey. And that's the Ampullaceae. And that is little Caribbean sunset. And that's got lots of new roots. And it's growing very nicely. And this is the Dendrobium pseudo-lamellatum. Not doing as well this year as it was last year. It flowered last year. And, a bit dark here, aren't we? This is the, got 2 of these, and they're both doing very well. This has got another new growth, and I think this, let me just check the name. It's on the other side. Oh, this is Cattleya Sincoriana times Alawi. Or Alawii. That's my tiny little Dendrobium, which it won't grow. Everybody's grows like a weed, but mine never does. And this is, and I've had this since 2016, and it's Lotta Jessie. Some of the Tolumias, they're growing nicely. There's the other one of the Sincoriana. That's the, down there, the only Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, and that looks as though it's on its way out. That's a little Williamsii, still hanging on in there. And this is Dendrobium Chrysium. And that's another little Dendrobium lamellatum, that, as opposed to pseudo-lamellatum. And this little one here, that little curled leaf did eventually drop off, but it's given me a new growth this time, and this is a miniature one, and it's Cattleya Malworth Glade. So hopefully now I know what I'm doing, some of these things will grow for me. Trouble is, the last few years I've really not been known what I've been doing. And there's the other Holcoglossom, and that's Wangi. There we go. And this one here, I'm trying to see whether or not I can get this to root, and just in some moss. These are just bare canes on the Dendrobium thysiflorum. The other part is in our bedroom on the windowsill, but I don't know, I've had those canes there like that for all this year. And just behind there you can see the Phaeus tankenvillia, just shedding a couple of old leaves, but otherwise the new leaves are fine. And all the frags, there we go. That's a little bit high, you see, the root, but if I put some more medium in, then it's going to cover this growth here. It's a bit awkward, isn't it, sometimes? And, there's the nice big, I always forget this one, you know, and I never have the label so I can see it. Let me just bring this label now. So I can, and this is Gatton Sunray. It's just dropping a couple of leaves, but otherwise I think that's okay. Quite a few of them need watering today. And of course this big one here with this nice new growth here. I'll just show you. It's a new leaf, not a mark on it. So at last, and I've just been manoeuvring a few things on this wall here. That's the other section of the Cattleya labiata, and next to it is the two little tiny back bulbs. And this big one here, of course, this is Epicattleya Alatilio Santa Maria. And that's the other Phalaenopsis there. That's Violacea. This one's called Samira. So it's Violacea, let's have a look, times, oh no, it's Bellina by Violacea. Like you can see, it's doing very well there. And this is one of my big Hoyas, which is really taken off. It's got new growth there, new leaves. And this is Hoya pubicalyx Black Dragon. So I have to be careful when I'm on this shelf. And I've just moved this here. This is Dendrobium famosum. It was on that other front shelf, but I've just moved it back slightly, hoping that, because it's lost most of its leaves. I mean, it's doing very well. It's this new growth here is sending out new roots, so there's no need to worry, but I wasn't too sure again. You see, this is one of these canes that start off furry and then they've lost all the leaves, you see. And this big one here is the Dendrobium Dawn Marie by Rung Camel. And we've lost a couple of leaves off here. And that one's dying back there. But I've found its spot now. I've been, like I say, I've been manoeuvring round this morning. And that one's fine there. And this is, of course, the Cattleya. Oh no, this is the L.C. Bermondsey Palm. There, that's that nice new growth there. And then of course this is one of those that I mounted recently, and that's got lots of roots, and that's the, let's have a look, Cattleya violacea times intermedia var rosea. A lot of bad leaves, but that's just me not knowing what I was doing. And this one here I'll bring down, and this is Laelia rubescens, and I used to have two. One sat here and this one's here. Now I've just put a little bit of moss just to help this. It's got some very active roots, but I felt it was just a bit too dry, but I have to be careful because this one I did struggle with it last year, and because it started to rot on me. I've found now that if you start to have trouble at the very beginning with certain orchids, you're going to be very, very lucky to actually get them to survive. You've got to see how you can accommodate them, see what suits them. Now this one, you see, this is doing lovely, and this is there we go. Come on. Why won't it show you? Too near? Sardin Denfinia. There, you see, that sent out a lot of new roots, and that one seems to be doing fine. And it goes up there in the window. Now this one, you see, is going mad. This one loves it here. And this is the tags turn round, the Sideria japonica. So that's found its little niche. And this one, if I can lift this one off, this is growing enormous. Absolutely. Now this is why I'm not worried so much about the Phalaenopsis amboyense, because this one aborted the bottom two leaves not so long ago. But look at that. And the root system, got roots everywhere. And these I'm continuing to water and feed, but at our temperature outside is only 3C today. It's 23.7 here and 59% humidity. So now this one here, excuse me stretching, I have to be, see that one and that one. And this is the Laelia lobata. That's its newest leaf. It's got an active growing tip there. That one underneath stopped growing, but it sent out a new one there. So whether that's just general dieback. I noticed on the Cattleya, the other one I've got down there, the intermedia, that's got two canes or pseudobulbs. That's dying back, so you know, what can you do? I've got the window open there as well. Can you see? Because I came in here and we're only single glazed and it was steamed up, it was everywhere. I've had to wipe the windows again. And that's the Hoya canosa tricolour. And I don't know what this little thing is here. Something growing. But just wondering what that is there. Ah, nothing. That's that new growth there on the Dahlia purpurata. And these are doing fine, and of course this is the big Walkeriana. And with all the roots. There's just one that have damaged there. It's when I stretch. I'll cut that off. Sometimes when I stretch over to the window to wipe, because that one was a little bit sticky outy, I've caught it, you see. And this one, this is the Cattleya. Let's have a look at this one. This is Labiata. Now what did I call that other one? Oh, the other one's Labata and this is Labiata. So you can see how I get tongue twisted, and you see, I don't know if you'll see because of the light. Let's see if I can just turn it round. But this has only been on here. There you are, can you see now? Just tucked there. Now this has not been on this mount for long, has it? You see, and that's a little bit of dust there. And already sending out new roots. So that tells me that this one quite likes the mount it's on, and hopefully under there's a new growth. It will be sending out that new growth. And that's the Catasetum pileatum. Going nicely, that fits down there under that other shelf. And this is the what is it? Rinco Cattleya Fu Shu Glory Happy Holiday. I brought that up from this side shelf here. And everything seems to be doing fine. I must water this Phragmipedium as well. And if I go down here, that's one of the Chrysotoxins. That's the nice big Rhynchocostylis gigantica peach, and that's another Chrysotoxin. And under this shelf are the and that shelf are the fed and watered Phalaenopsis, and they all seem to be doing quite well because I'm watering and feeding them more often. And I think like Andrew was saying, because he had trouble with crown rot, and I think I wasn't keeping them hydrated enough. But we have to live and learn. And this shelf here are the Vandas, and this is there's nothing happening on this one. And this is Vanda Cultana Gold by Robert's Delight, but it's got good roots. This is the one that's I'm waiting for the buds to open, and that's Cultana Gold by Dr. Anek. See? They're forming nicely. These get watered and fed most days. That's the big Oncidium. There's the other Vanda, which is Adisac Happiness. Go down under here, excuse the light. This is where I've elevated the Phalaenopsis to, and that's Phalaenopsis Yang Yang, Gag and Cherry. This is Phalaenopsis Howardin Princess. This is Phalaenopsis Violacea Indigo Blue. I've just got one little leaf there, just dying back. And in the corner there is the Phalaenopsis Tetraspis Purple. See, that inflorescence is extending, and underneath are some more Phalaenopsis. all doing extremely well now. I'll move you up here. This is the Dendrobium Day, and that's given me that new growth there. And I've noticed that there's one or two new growths. There's another one, and I think there's another one there. So at last, and there's my big full spectrum light. I move that over there because I can't have the Dendrobium there, and when I've got that lit, it lights this back wall where I've got all the Vandaceous types. Very powerful that is. And see if it'll focus for you. And this is the Phalaenopsis cornicervu, and that's Chatterley. Still, it won't have that leaf, you know, it just wants to fall down like that. But, and that of course is the Masdevallia hybrid. And there's the other one. I think that one's just starting to fade a bit now. And under here, that's that big Brinchostylis Haysong Tian Muth. Well, that's part of it. I'm waiting for that to see whether that eye will send out any roots. And of course, this is the humongous Coleogyne Burfordiense, and with this nice big growth. And move along here. This is the Dendrobium crumentum. That's a Hoya there. It's very warm actually in here. That's the other Hoya that I've... let me just take you around this way because it's a little bit darker, isn't it? So I've put that other light on now. That is a Pathiopedilum. That's got to come out and be watered today. Yeah, I think that one's doing quite well now. So, and there's the Dendrobium hildepoxen. I've had to put some moss just on the top of those lava rock just to keep the roots hydrated. And here we go over here. What's happening on here? Not a lot, even though I don't show it very often. That's the species Talumnia. Doing very nicely. And that's the Stelis. These do get fed and watered. That's the other Pathiopedilum. That's just planted in lava rock, that is. That'll be due for another feed as well. That's the Phalaenopsis that had that leaf that aborted on me. Anyway, I'm running out of time rapidly now, so I'll just give you a quick look at these that are hanging here, and bid you farewell because he's going to cut me out at any second. And thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye bye now.